Recently, I've been working on a 3D printed boxer engine. I designed it from the ground up in Onshape, taking inspiration from the famous Subaru boxer engine. This isn't a replica model by any means, it isn't a scaled version of an EJ or an FA engine, it's just how I went about making a boxer engine. My goals for this project are pretty optimistic. I want to try to make it run on compressed air. There are a whole lot of reasons why that's going to be insanely hard, which I'll get into. This is going to be the first of 2 videos I make on this engine, with this one being a lot about how I went about designing it and the assembly process. I've attempted to make a bunch of engines in the past, a few inline 4s, some 1-cylinders, and a bunch of turbines if you count those. Since the last time I made one of these, my understanding of CAD has developed, and this was one of my motives for attempting this project. The other being that I just like cars and motors and stuff. Back to the challenges with making a 3D printed compressed air engine. First off is sealing. 3D printed parts are only so precise, and they themselves, due to the layers that they're manufactured in, are not at all airtight. So tolerances are going to have to be very precise and well designed surrounding the piston rings, the valves, and any other areas that experience pressure from the intake. Problem 2, because 3D printed parts are drastically more imprecise as they get smaller, for the sake of components like the valves and cams, I had to make the engine relatively large. The short block alone from side to side is 18 centimeters, and with the heads added to both sides, it's 30 centimeters. That said, it is not small. This means that the displacement of the piston, and consequently the volume of pressurized air required for each stroke, is pretty significant too. I designed the stroke to be proportional to the diameter of the piston head, meaning that the piston is 4 centimeters across, and the distance the piston travels from top dead center to bottom dead center is also 4 centimeters. All this to say that our intake source not only needs to make pressure, but also shove a big quantity of air into this thing. Issue number 3, plastic is not metal. Plastic rubs, makes heat, fuses together, seizes up, very malleable and prone to warping or cracking, the list goes on. Well, then why don't you just use metal? Well, first of all, I don't have money. Second of all, I don't have a CNC. I have a printer, so I've convinced myself that this is part of the challenge, okay? There are a fair few other issues, but these are the big ones. Anyways, all that said, I'll start by explaining how this project began. But not before I tell you about the sponsor of today's video, PCBWay. PCBWay is an online PCB manufacturing service that can make custom parts for your projects. PCBWay can create your designs using a variety of methods like 3D printing, CNC machining, metal printing, sheet metal fabrication, and injection molding. Across their wide range of services, PCBWay offers really good prices along with short turnaround times. If you're interested to see what PCBWay can do for your own projects, click the link in the description. Their services support makers like me to create cool projects like this one, and they can do the same thing for you too. Big thanks again to PCBWay. I started out with a cube in Onshape, just trying to figure out the rough dimensions of this engine before I started crafting up the main file. After Lord knows how many hours working on the short block, we've got this. Surrounding the 4 centimeter cylinders on top of the block, there's space for some large O-rings to try to help with that sealing issue where it mates to the heads. I landed on using some chunky M5 bolts with nylon lock nuts to hold the head set up to the block, which attaches here. To hold the 2 halves of the short block together, there are these tabs here for some bolts. The crankshaft sits in the middle, of course, and I made space for some massive 21mm bearings that I stole off of the RC car. There are these supporting structures right here with a slight indent except for the very edge to minimize the surface area rubbing against the crankshaft. Moving to the crank quickly, similarly I put little indents on the counterweights to minimize the surface area of the rubbing parts, and here is a hexagonal keyed shaft on the end for the timing belt. The piston is also pretty simple. There's space for a piston ring, a wrist pin, retaining clip, and I put these fancy little extrusions on the top like you see on F1 pistons. In reality, they actually do nothing, and in fact, they just aggravate me when I have to take the supports off, but they look cool, so whatever. I literally had no reason to factor this into the design since they're hidden inside the engine anyway, so like why did I... Piston rods, rod caps, retaining clips, wrist pins. Okay, moving to the heads. First up here is the lower head. This bit has channels for the air to flow for intake and exhaust gases, and on the bottom has a little indent for the valve shoe. Next up is the upper heads. This whole assembly was probably the hardest bit to design. We've got space for the springs, push rods, the valve buckets, the O-rings, the camshafts, and the bearings. The valve pins are made of 5mm stainless rods, each of which are hand cut and filed. Sealing O-rings are put into the upper head and the boot underneath it. Lube is packed in here for nice frictionless action, the shoe is hammered to the bottom, and the springs are then retained down with a clip and the bucket is placed over top. In reality, this took a stupid amount of time to design, iterate, and assemble, and it's still not nearly perfect. Moving on to the timing bits, I bought a timing belt that's typically used for tractors or something. I made some pulleys with that same hexagonal key from earlier, then put some passive pulleys on the short block to offset the belt for more contact on the crank pulley. I still need to work out a tensioner, but that shouldn't be too hard, right? And that's it-ish. We're roughly caught up to where I am now. I'm pretty thrilled with how this thing turned out. There's a good amount of things that I'm going to change for the next version. The tensioner that I made was sort of a last minute design, so it doesn't work the best, but for demonstration purposes, it gets the job done. With the revised cam profile and the lubricated valves, the heads aren't contributing very much rotational friction at all to the timing system. The majority of the friction is coming from the piston rings. This is another thing I'm going to have to seriously revise if this thing ever has any hope of running under its own power. Speaking of which, the contenders for an air supply right now are a shop vac set on reverse or a 3D printed compressor. From the brief research I've done about 3D printed compressors, they don't work amazingly, but I'd be willing to give it a go. Anyways, that's about all for this video. Thanks a lot if you've made it this far in the video, and feel free to share any insight you might have in the comments. Bye.